what are the challenges that we see then? Changing business environment due to pandemic impact for the last 2 years. When I spoke to my BCM folks from a security perspective, they were not really aware of how to go about handling it. You know, everybody just says that, oh, you probably need to work from home and do telecommuting then. But there are a lot of other considerations. How do you move the whole workforce from office to back home? What are the challenges from your IT on your IT infrastructure itself? And then what are the security controls associated with that when you move everybody back home then? It's a huge challenge. Now, I'm a big fan in the past whereby I used to allow the users to have VPN clients on their machine so that when they work from home or work from wherever they are, they can just do whatever they need to do, serve the internet, and then when they need to consume the corporate resources, they then what they call VPN back to the enterprise to consume it then. But that is in peacetime, and not everybody do that all the time. So the load, the implication on the IT infrastructure was not there. You didn't see it. But when we move everybody back home, all of a sudden your VPN gateway becomes the bottleneck, the single point of failure, right? And then when we look at from the BCM perspective, the business strategy perspective, did we cater for all those things? The BCM team wasn't ready to run that because they were not prepared for it. Neither was IT. And cyber were to call in and says, when we move the whole workload back from on-premise to off-premise, what are the additional security considerations we need to do? Okay, now I had to make a very painful decision, which I have explained to EXCO in the past, that we let a lot of users have freedom to do a lot of things, serve the internet, so on and so forth. And when we move everybody back to working from home, back from the premise to back to home, we took away that luxury. Basically, when you go back home and work, you cannot serve any more internet unless you are VPN back into your corporate network, right? So at that point in time, then we realized the BCM strategy that we had prior to the pandemic or prior to the ransomware, it's no longer valid. It has to change. And because of the pandemic, we have to tweak on the spot, on the go, on the fly, the whole BCM strategy to say, whatever we had in the past, it doesn't work anymore. You need to put in cyber, and cyber becomes an overriding factor to protect the company. Now, let me explain why that is the case. If you have a computer, just like a computer pre-COVID or pre-pandemic, you know that you can surf internet wherever you go, all right? And then, you just turn on VPN when you go back to the office, to connect it back to the office. But that is exactly the problem that why ransomware got into the environment for most of the cases I've come across, right? Now, because you gave the end user opportunity, the option to say, surf the internet, at the same time, look at corporate resources. Now, basically, we're bridging a trusted network and an untrusted network together, right? And that is a perfect formula for failures. So what we did, or what I did then, was very simple. We cut it off. We say that every time you have a machine back home, you cannot serve the internet unless you have established a trusted connection back to the corporate. That means I'm forcing all my internet-bound traffic through the corporate gateway, whereby your endpoint will still be protected by the corporate resources, corporate endpoint and solution then. Now, cybersecurity needs to be called out here because the threat landscape changes so fast, right? So fast to the point that I have not seen it in my last 22 years, okay? Moheng mentioned about ransomware attacks slightly in his opening about how cyber attack comes along. As of today, as of right now, the number of ransomware victims we have that's reported that is known victims is 5,400 throughout the whole globe. And when ransomware hits, trust me, it hits like lightning. You will never know what hit you and when it hit you. The only time you can react is when you turn on a computer, you saw the ransom note screen. All right, and guess what? If you have that today in your environment, you're probably freaked out. That's what most of my users did. Okay, it's really scary. Right? Now, all these things that I just spoke about with cyber, but was never part of the conversation with the business. It was never part of a conversation during the business impact analysis that they used to do prior to the pandemic phase, right? So right now we need to be able to translate that cyber risk to the business. So after I took on we survived the ransomware attack, I had to run through all these potential cyber risks to the business in their BIA phase.